Ivan Argüelles. There are so many things to say about Ivan, I could stand here for the rest of the evening to say them. I've written introductions to his work, I've interviewed him, I've done all kinds of things with Ivan. Ivan and I have actually collaborated on things as well. He's a poet whose work I deeply respect. He began as something, it was very hard to categorize him, but some people said, well, he's a surrealist. But if this is surrealism, it's a very different kind of surrealism from anything you're likely to find. He's published what seem to be hundreds of books. I lost count at 15 or 20. That's just some. And he's published many recently. And he's moved beyond what if that early work was surreal. He's moved into something that's very different from that. Some of his long poems take hold of you and refuse to let go. There's all this stuff in them. There's all this erudition. At the same time, he used to listen to a lot of Elvis Presley. And there's that too. I don't know what to say more, except he's a wonderful poet, Ivan Argüelles.
I'm going to start off with what I consider a shorter poem, and then I'm going to move on to some sections from my long poems. This goes back to the days when I used to have lunch at Kip's.
Occasionally with friends.
Occasionally with friends. This is called The Young and the Restless. Death has her black gloves on today. It's her birthday. She's 17 and going to college to study love. Peroxided blonde, new wave, permanent hair all over the place, umbrella for no reason in her left hand, and eyes full of television. Romance? She has no feelings. Read all of Petrarch in a minute. Talks in Greek to the critics about the end of criticism. What madness or what insomnia has brought me to this cage? Her mouth rivets on the orthography of the stars. I mean Hollywood, so young and blank and full of vicious yearning. Death has her black stockings on today and something like a black coat. It's her birthday, after all. This time she's 17 and wild, in love with the idea of love, platonic and super, as they say on the coast. But it's raining and she has an exam at noon just when her favorite show is on the television, The Young and the Restless. She moves closer, out of breath, abstracted just like a polar moon about to disappear into a white universe. Death has her black, wicked mood on today, for it's her birthday, and she eats animal for lunch, and digresses on Ptolemy's natural history as if it were a simple menu, and pulls her black slip over her knees, nonchalantly, as progressive as anything in literature. She'll be late for the exam, for she is young and restless, musing on the verities of being and nothingness. She moves even closer to the screen, absorbed by the immense pointillism of the medium. Mirrors flash in front, and behind her the sides of an apiary yawn open. It is the Mediterranean in the late years of the Neolithic. She is close to becoming Circe, Medusa, Medea, and Fata Morgana, all in an instant, and it's the 20th century full of bombs, menace of air hijacking, terrorism. She doesn't care about Orlando or Rinaldo or any of the paladins done up in California's sun. She's gone through Ulysses, Zeus, and Nero like phantoms. Her sultry eyes are empty. Don't worry about your reflection in them. It's not there. She's 17 today and worried about the fates of the various characters, boozing, living, screwing, swindling, cheating on the screen. She's got black on everywhere except for her hair. I want her for the first time. I want death next to me, cold, mean, insensitive, non-verbal, really as philosophical a disposition as one could ever ask for. And I step on the gas, going through the solar system, reciting the thoughts Job must have had dislocating his hip, resting with that angel death on some pale lunar plane. What madness or what insomnia has brought me to this cage?
I didn't say upbeat.
What?
I didn't say upbeat.
Oh, okay.
What's your poetry?
I don't know. It's
Post-beat, maybe.
Post-beat, yeah. I'm going to focus on two of my big books. This is Madonna Septet, Volume 1. And I'll read a few sections from it. The reference Nataraj is the is the term that for the Shiva who dances the dance of destruction, the king of the dance, Nataraj. Nataraj, enemy of love, destroy my heart. Nataraj, enemy of love, destroy my heart. Nataraj, enemy of love, destroy my heart. I saw it in the text, love God's enemy, Shiva. Goswami Tulsidas said it, and he is a poet. Is junk in arm, I am hooked for life. Madana is detachment from a Vedic distance. Z is a catastrophe. Alpha is cremated. Obscenities proceed from the mouth of darkness. Profanities proceed from the... Madana is pornography, that sublime thing. In Asia, stock market is tumbling from cliff. Drunken elephants trample my heart. Arjuna is mixed message in Gita, frothing at chain letters, come and go through the galaxy. I am in mare mortuum, lunar deathscape, unfulfilled. It shouldn't be, but I have angst thinking of you. You are created from a Vedic distance. You are the other, neither potential nor unreal. Simply there, at an irretrievable distance. Nataraj, enemy of love, vanquish my heart. It is nowhere this sickening. I am catapulted, senses have bereft. Afloat in magma of hell, senses have bereft again. Pataloka, hungry ghosts drink my blood. It is noon again and again, and it's madness. Violence is sport and the gods are fucked. Illicit is forbidden, love is extramarital. Brahma is nowhere, Radha is neither. Everything is in abstract. White is whiter, pales is blanchest, fleet flowers blankest. Die! Poets are forbidden to speak. Nataraj, enemy of love, exterminate it. Unconvoked ire eats me for lunch. Heart's zone, hush altogether, empty the remote eye. Whenever you will, but never do manifest. Radha pose in the first person demand for singular. Lunar advocacy of all things under the table. I am devoted as ever and disavow the poetry, for the bards are a drunken, quarrelsome lot, and pay will only adhere strict attention. In my pure devotion, through Shivji, though Shivji be my enemy, that is I, it is madness. It is not speaking clearly. It is not in syntax, the unwholesome, a dialect to interpose, to get to you what it takes. Nataraj, enemy of love, mortify me. Madana is love potion number 9, endless vomiting off cliff of eternity. For what? Nullity, poet is a cipher blanker than ashes. Madana is tax, illegal semiotics. Madana is silence and adoration, sheer senselessness. I will not understand anyone else ever. It is already this. Madana, it is 1998. We're all waiting. Nataraj, enemy of love, detonate my heart. First we are born and we recall nothing. Then there are days without end and light. Then what is like a wall and beyond it, oblivion. Madana is frozen. But Radha is Jiva and Brahma is nowhere. I am in decay. I am in mortal despond. The poets don't get it. It is beyond devotion. They cannot talk it. It is beyond devotion. It is not even religion. It is worse than that. Z, Y, X, fragments, obliterated. My tongue in a slot. My hand excised. Nataraj, enemy of love, demand my heart. Nataraj, enemy of love, obliterate me. Buddha, tantric nonsense, Vishnu capacity at dead-end Madana is... It is not how I meant to say, or how I say it that matters. Green on dense and whiter cavities, heaven, elusive properties, mind. How do you say it? You know how to, you can know how fixed it is without gravity afloat. Clouds spotted, ruddy like ever since the first time. A lyric and waters sound, fusive and lush beyond what eye sees and does. Grasp nothing. Moksha, hush, sand. Times. I told, love stands up to no one thing and is bright as that single summer with its music of light. A lantern, some petals, lily, your lotus feet I adore. Wishing sky had a different house, don't you? Amazeful, as of you am I the other. Passes understanding. Heart thief, I look and am gone into air. Shiva, love God's enemy, has written this. Provocation, and in return awaits annihilation, to wit, destruction of the 4 faces of Brahma, of Triloka, of... Kiss me, I'm dying. Adore your lotus feet, honey. I woke up last night, but you were not there. Uma don't know how to read or write, her face ravaged by spiritual desire, walks down Walnut Street, mighty as another universe, quicker than a ray of light. Her boots, her steam, her quickened halo, unparched for her, have no desire other than to be as she, her, the one. Envelopes of mist ascend, taking all a man could ever be into the uttermost seas of remote syntax. And winds breaking against the ancient cliffs, hunger for your unattainable lotus feet, hunger for your oblivion. Never was that what it could ever be. As such, I've drawn a poem, a sandwich, a lie, and weave in and out of temples like waters through the Sargasso Sea. Fix me, I'm dying, as though I were never meant to be. White assemblies of dead stars, thick groves of matted Shiva locks, labyrinths in the impossible set to the flame. Moth eats my heart and in turn blows up. Uma don't know how to read or write, her face mutilated by a sublime passion. I am dead to have her, high tension wires upon which I walk, careen into the solar storms. She just streams on by like a jet. Space separates in islands of nothing. I am her wake, a furrow of disappearing air. Woke up last night and you were not there. Some thin vision, some crimson, some thread snapping in two, where the brain meets its Jerusalem. I am eating something, I know not what. You could be this illusion. You could be the refugee in my dream. You could be all I never was. Strange how the mantle turns to smoke, and the leaves on the gesso tree, one by one, reinterpret all the Vedas. Simple songs are not for me. I am dead to sing all the forgotten ones. Adore your lotus feet, honey. Adore the way you seem to put them to sleep. When I lay down, the earth opens and a white glove named Persephone strangles me. Do I know you from somewhere? Candles lit all around the house. No mirror shines, no window shows. How is it you come and go? Uma don't know how to read or write. Gautama is blind in both eyes. You cross your arms. Some darkness begins to grow and end. Like another universe, Uma glows with the graceful gait of an elephant. She strolls down Walnut Street. Behind her, in atavistic ecstasy, the gods pretend they are bhikkhus and kiss the pavement where she stepped. I am dead to have her. I no longer have a self. It is her, I am you. So far as I know, all else is ignorance. As the sky is white tonight, and Gautama in both eyes is blind. Time has a way of leaving off. Space declines to answer for its way. You cross your arms, your eyes empty of heaven. You cross your arms, and I am empty of all heaven. There is, you know, I have to say, an oblivion, never far from home. The death you read in others' eyes is the death you cleave to the bone. Woke up last night, but you were never there. Some dream it was, a book I wrote, the words were clouds, the pictures, some signals in the fire. I spoke to you. You were not there. The tavern filled with 1,000 names, and Uma came and went to fill their cups. A crimson thread that snaps, a brain that cannot read or write. Another universe so far away, the ink that ravages her face with desire. I am berserk to have her. I am dead to the fountain of light. Gautama in both eyes is blind. You crossed your arms, and the end of time occurs. Hunger for your oblivion, hunger for what you can never know. Kiss me, I'm dying.
Ivan, tell us which Madonna you're referring to.
The Madonna of, you know, like a prayer, that's the one.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
That's another one that you're referring to, too.
Ragazza. Ragazza is Italian for girl. Ragazza, epistemology. Ragazza, you have no known address. Ragazza, you're a culmination of all improprieties. Ragazza, you are a cult abomination on speed. Ragazza, you are a cause of dead-end Mariolatry. Ragazza, you are both knife point and spoon. Ragazza, you are deficit in cosmos manifestation. Ragazza, you bury your breasts at dewfall. Ragazza, you continue to provoke premature ejaculation. Ragazza, you are supreme crime hazard. Ragazza, you are ahistorical and functionless. Ragazza, I'm making a point about you. Ragazza, you are migraine fusion of hell. Ragazza, you're limitless and abandoned. Ragazza, you're not like this all the time. Ragazza, kiss me, I'm dying. Ragazza, you're essentially a cloud without seams. Ragazza, you border on orgasmic auto. Ragazza, you have no decent footwear. Ragazza, you are a symposium of bad grammar. Ragazza, you are poetry's worst prize. Ragazza, you are red shift and litmus. Ragazza, you're the illegible print in the law. Ragazza, you. Ragazza is a pronoun in the third person, abstract. Ragazza is poison pen letter from Robespierre. Ragazza wounds aimlessly those who care. Ragazza, you is a goddamn cheat. Ragazza are a phonemic disorder in freefall. Ragazza, isms become. Ragazza, future has no horizon like your sex. Ragazza, you are incandescent fish in exile. Ragazza, you pour essences out on the pavement. Ragazza, they have taken your shadow away. Ragazza, they are sick of you. Ragazza, they. Ragazza, language mimics poorly your ecstasy. Ragazza, it is all dependent on you. Ragazza. Ragazza is the time to step aside. Ragazza is a movie about free love. Ragazza is the failure in the electoral process. Ragazza, you are junk. Ragazza, you are garbage. Ragazza, you are idiomatic corpse gibbering. Ragazza, you are Medea hallucination. Ragazza, you are moon's phantomatic backside. Madonna, you are Ragazza. Ragazza, you are projection of theory. Ragazza, you are being and nothingness. Ragazza, you are Om and Shakti. Ragazza, you are Devi. Ragazza, you are spurned, scorned, spat upon, and reviled. Ragazza, you have no qualities. Ragazza, Ragazza. Ragazza is. Ragazza, you are pornographic emblem. Ragazza, you are 12 kinds of aphasia. Ragazza, you are the last time. Ragazza, Ragazza. Hell, breakdown, futility of lovelorn. Ragazza is obsession in a parking lot. Ragazza is salt in the wound. Ragazza is a bird, she needs to fly. Ragazza, let all the hurt inside of you die. Ragazza, Ragazza, there are nightmares about you. Ragazza is light. Ragazza is a Persephone persona. Ragazza is a tarantella. Ragazza is folia di Spagna. Ragazza is beside herself. Ragazza is a notion. Ragazza is you what? A thought, daughter of the sun, Circe. Is it a kind of space? Humus? Silence. Ragazza, you're the translation to heaven. Ragazza, I adore your lotus feet. Ragazza, there's never enough. Ragazza is a passage to Acheron. Ragazza lives, but where? Ragazza, Ragazza, Ragazza. Ragazza, sing this song. Ragazza, identify this heart. Ragazza, if you had to do it over. Ragazza, hell is you. Ragazza, hell is you. Ragazza, you are oblivion. Ragazza. I'm going to read the concluding canto of my last big book. It's called Comedy Divine the, and it purports to structurally imitate Dante. That is to say, it's 33 cantos each in Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, and 22 stanzas in each of those cantos. In this, each stanza is 6 lines, so it looks very formal. It doesn't sound very formal. I'm going to read the very last canto of Paradise, Canto 33. Calypso to the stars, a dance for deaf intaglios. Mummers wax an ancient moon, their Egypt of sown wheat. What morning will never rise, just denser, darker yet? Why have you not called? Each house is nearer to the others, but no one has ever been. There are gardens plotted out of earthy stuff, and high on the swirling gyre air molds its echo out of fiery death. Some paradise is yet to be, some pale. Beyond longings note a lingering of sweat-pearled skin. Some deity will be announced, some archaic math of complex water, where drown the blessed with their inch of light. Bodhisattva of the traffic signals, come away, fellow sailors. 'Tis to a sea-girt Chipango our minds bark sails, round the horn to far-off Sri Lanka, where the monkey god pounds his Dravidian drum. How oft and yet how never been. White swirls into red's dense powder, phrases, the scarcely uttered, a mantra to ward off eternal night, a bliss token in the far field. Blue shatters its myth in skirts of dazzling, like an Amaryllis bright kimono. Phases of a kinetic moon or throbbing heart's opal dream. Out of score, a music's dissonance resounds. Will not wait for me? Ah, did I love you less? Some divinity has offered this lotus silence. Wait, ponder what has not been, what has been, not what is to be, what can never seem, other than the gilded light first seen then lost. At once we feel, denies the stranger's intimacy, the cave fills with shadows, the mind's fertile adolescent play, buzzing with names incandescent, a woman manifests, goddess of the tutelary red, whose shifts of fast and azure blaze illumines to the death. Where hast put thy mask? Did I but own a sense of self, would I the poet be? 'Tis to paradise we bend, the 9 days' journey to death's beyond, where light riddles in vast honeycombs and murmurs echo to her nymph no more. This then was what? Some cliff hanging in outer space, the brain's furious quest for undying peace. What dress were you wearing that afternoon? I seem to recall an embroidery of asphodel and moly, a fire dancing where eyes have been, nor crave to see the endless shape of beauty's pose. Strike then the note of crystal beam. Listen as outpours the night its deft filigree. On haunted moons we wander dazed, in moors where kindles the god of wrath's deaf heart. A loss betrays, a day will never come to be. Why didn't you erase those lines? Your hot tears no thought can stay. But how then to paradise will each the other bear? In which frame is light fixed for sure? A remove or two from depth and we lose balance. To write what you thought, to sing as you had not before, to exercise over mind the indivisible, in the fray just once glimpse Arcadia's golden slope. 'Twas for you first I took up the pen, for you I dwelt in the imagined fane, to perorate among gods now lost thy beauty's immortal face. Did language promise more? Ah, this puny paradise is a rankling sore, a thought bitten by its own invidious rose. What grander things exist? What worlds beyond the world? A tomb for every love I lied, a tangled tongue to spite. Green frills echoes dishonest syllable, redder still the roaring of the truly enamored deity. One goes on and on when what should cease? In pours the light of illumination, but all around a mangled silence. 'Twas for a piece of meat these cities burn, yet farther east the perfect mind assumes, lotus and diamond of unerring quality, who will know? There is a darkness which is knowledge, a syntax that displays all of space in a single vowel, music that requires absolute deafness. When we have gotten beyond the Beatrice of cognition, when not for a second do we feel like looking back, have been, will be no more, have no need to afflict or be afflicted, when we have superseded the self of want and take, in the mountain bury this head of dust. Did I give you a rhyme to believe? Have forgiveness in its palest lack? Be the one to turn out the light, not the one to ask for more. For paradise is in that empty chamber, unsought and ungiven. It is for red we lived and breathed, but for red we now forsake. Love's grief, love's unconscious, along the where no mind is and is not. Phases of pure blank, issues without echo, leaf, page, thought, sound, grass of the intellect. It is not for paradise we pray to die. It is not the paradise we die in death. Not paradise, not for me. Paradise but a mortal whim. A paradise underneath it all. Not a paradise will it ever be. Sob, sigh, sleep then, bitter not the less. The not angry. No, not in paradise, but the lack of color. You and I, in unbidden silence behind glass. Look there! Angels consume the self of flame. In waters deep do drown the other. To be as one, so they say, painting the back door a white relief. A paradise not the form takes shape in unbidden hands, as thought proceeds from light's memorization. To paradise as a counting backwards from the infinite, which cannot be a paradise, nor paradise's self-defined articulation of the never, where love's ephemera do pass the hour, neither in a looking glass nor in wine's dank lees, is paradise the. Who question a paradise to be, as suffocated words in a lover's trance, keep giving you, keep losing you, why then this envelope of breath? Whose head did you mistake? Loss and longing, the ever, a paradise when we are out of breath, and after a while it takes longer, be sure to fold on the crease where the smallest error incurs the unthinkable. When we have gotten to the other side, the ivy's rampant dream of ceaseless green, innuendo of paradise in the clouds' recurring sleep, a shape of someone we used to know. Never mind the dirty glass of overlooked intention. There is a shining somewhere else, paradise, stopping, not to go, dying because paradise, the white tower in the middle of distance, letting there be no more proportions, footfalls of the deathless in a submerged air. What haven't we understood? Which was the single instance? Hapax legomenon, touching the goddess's green halo, skin, the song, ceasing, not to move. Were paradise not there, not on the edge, unfelt, impossibility as a paradise pale? What is it the poem is for? In ferment of paradise, in loss of desire. What is it? That we are going nowhere. Inches away from the entrance to hell is the exit from paradise. You can tell by the kind of music. It wasn't meant to be that way. A place called the Playmore Dance Hall, somewhere beyond the last facade where they spilled the underage bodhisattva. 5 decades in a snap of the fingers, my sweet Lord. The endless is not paradise, nor what can have no beginning. Is not paradise the function of the inherent vowel, angel code amalgam of the ineffable? Cannot be paradise because it is not pronounced. The unutterable, ecstatic, yet insentient. I saw fall away from their bodies the flesh in layers of burning, filled the air with a perfume like unto no other. Thus was the translation to heaven, no text. After which, what is there? My body is giving me signals, a human passage through darkening corridors, an afternoon in some distant season near the Crystal Palace. It is less like waking than before, flooded with an image of transcendent light, listening for the grass to start speaking. Beside me lay a corpse of smoke, for whom clouds are just a formation of the syllable, drawn by a single note of music. Into what other space, outside of what other time, for whom are these words meant? For you, that you are no more than the residual vermilion of an intense and insane moment, the unreal omega. What is specifically excluded from meaning, what cannot be understood, enigma and cipher dissolved in the powder of eons. In the event that we are reborn, your face will be the text, as my fingers will be the language. Is it not the poem as an end? That the figures that so eluded us are but vast and vanishing constellations, in which we read the zodiac of abstractions, coming to birth, walking beside the console, carving a number on the pyramid, learning to face the bride, yet never for a moment understanding why. It is that the poem has no end, that a thought turns to stone, that the countless succession of lives is a delusion, as are the considerations between you and me, illusory meat assigned to the disappearing text, a paradise for the nameless, roseate and flush with new heat. Then what? Rivers of origination. From what garden are we exiled? To what earth consigned? To what urn confined? It is what yearning is, a longing for the island. What? That cannot be, that fell thing, taste of earth, salt, humus. In your garment of pellucid animal, exit nemo, probably means something like trouble with language, how a score of cents, the rigid information about the brief visit. On either side, vast stone figures put a finger to the lips. Head aches, a carnal interpretation cannot satisfy angel. Rains that last forever, sleep underneath, green, then red, then blue again, to the stars. Volare, cantare, nel blu, dipinto di blu, felice di stare lassù. Thank you. I have to finish on a softer note here with some poems to my recently dead brother, a book called A Day in the Sun.
That, incidentally, is a wonderful book.
Thank you.
It's a really moving book.
Dia de los Muertos. Wasn't supposed to be like this, Joe. Bright autumn spectral with wind taking the treetops right off. A heaven is a distance too many, Joe. Listening carefully to a music, cartwheels of melancholy melody, leaves as are the generations of men, beneath our feet, shuffling, rustling, dry voices in a dry month belonging to void and null. Joe, not the birthday party with the multiple lost in the manifold cloth of childhoods ago. Not today anymore, not yesterday, a radio Joe all alone singing out into the otherwise air, beyond what cannot be grasped nor understood. Why write this at all in the face of such invisible catastrophes? Just like in the photograph, Joe, when you and I on the lakeshore, what was the intention depicted? We were already dead, rehearsing the mask of eternity with laughter, captured by a lens-colored life, for just a brief second, Joe, for an instant looking into the sun, as if futures had all been cancelled. That long day ago lost to fiction, ruminating in a philosophy book, when the already manifests as the immutability nothing, like dancers, like musicians who have arrived too late to play. And I'll just read one other one, the title poem, A Day in the Sun. I promised to take Mom to Brazil, but she thought you were more spiritual. Both of us at once talking at the same time with the same voice, sitting on folded chairs at the improvised patio table that Dad had painted orange below the weeping willow, below the immense shadow that we ignored was there. Up the street there was a mat convention. Laid out on a large summer lawn, most of them had purple covers, and spread out. We watched, dazed, as the yellow boulevards sinuously made their way from one big city to another, pretending that somehow we inhabited any one of them all the time, which is better than living where we did, watching carefully how the lizard traced its course across the gravel into how much light. What was true was not necessarily the right proportion of love, nor the sudden manner in which the years took us away from each other, from that day in the sun, dizzy, with the sheer instantaneity of it. All I mean, all and forever, in and out of the same skin being, alive, grass rushing to be cut, sidewalks crazy for us to step on them, school kids shouting into the evening the early warnings about dying. The taste of bitumen at the bottom of the swimming pool where we plunged, eager to swim into some Asian apocalypse, to re-emerge wet and drunk for a single morning, waving sweetly some imaginary record into the sun, the song which laced our ears with the promise of pyramids and crowded marketplaces far, far away. All I mean, all and forever, Mexican shirts of fantasy, the two of us disappearing into a movie theater dark and endless. There's a little quote of this book. It's called Songs. Joe, last night Nat King Cole and Peggy Lee came by. He sang Unforgettable, and Peggy sang Fly Me to the Moon and I'll Be Seeing You. Her voice was so ethereal, and she wore a big red dress and a silver thing around her head. Joe, and Nat was as cool as ever. I felt your presence right next to me. We were in the 9th grade waiting for the dance, waiting for Joe Stafford to come by and sing You Belong to Me. Joe, that was our favorite one. Made us feel so innocent and far away like we would never be again. Never be again.
Yeah.